Hey, True Seeker, welcome back. Wanted to talk about the torture report that's been in the media all week. That's been the big story all week, the torture report. The Democratic Party decided to bring it forth. They thought it was the right time. It's because they're all a bunch of puppets and actors just following what their puppet masters tell them to do. All right, so let's begin with the gematria of torture report. It has a very familiar gematria. Torture is 36, report is 38. Put it together, we have 74. What I call the number of the martyr. Jesus and cross both equal 74. Jesus. Cross. Of the 50 states, only one state has a gematria of 74. It happens to be the 33rd state, Oregon. And Oregon's in the media right now. They're going to be my next post. They just had another shooting at their high school. Another hoax. So here's some 74 words. Another 74 word you're familiar with is English. The English language. English sums to 74. Gematria, this practice of coding the numbers into the words. Can you guess what it sums to, True Seeker? If you said 74, give yourself a star. Gematria is 74. And they love to code this into everything. I've been exposing this in tons of posts this year. Torture report, 74. That's why they would name it such a thing. So now later in the week, who's going places with the torture report is Peter Beinart, who writes for The Atlantic, mainstream media journalist. Peter has the gematria of 28. Beinart has the gematria of 33. Here's another one of these 33 agents. Earlier today on television, I saw somebody named Tom Parker for the FBI talking about how the nation is at risk of a power grid down scenario, from hackers to terrorists to ISIS. This is also a narrative I was hearing last year before they even introduced us to ISIS. So Peter Beinart, he's really making the rounds because his article is titled, "Torture is Who We Are." Torture is who we are. His article has men in orange jumpsuits with black bags over their heads, imagery we've gotten used to seeing in the last decade in the post 9/11 era. What I know now that I didn't once know is that orange is the only color with a gematria of 33, like the name Beinart, like the color I wrote his name in. This phrase, torture is who we are, sums to 101 in gematria. That's a multiple of 11, just like 74. Also, it's like a school subject. Torture is who we are, the basics, 101. That's what we do. We torture. And when you think about it, True Seeker, it in a sad way, it is who we are, because all of us have been tortured. We've just grown used to it, so we don't realize it. But having to live a life of lies, which we all have, some of us realize it, some of us not, that's torture in itself. They're torturing us all sorts of ways. Physically, mentally, chemically. Cruel people. This Peter Beinart, you guys, I also want to make the careful distinction. He is not the same person as Peter Bergen. Peter Bergen is the person who's always been bringing us the false lies and narratives about Osama bin Laden. And now he's doing it with ISIS. I just saw Peter Bergen in the media yesterday talking about ISIS and a looming terrorist attack on the nation because of what? Because of the torture report. They're now adding this to part of the narrative of why we might be attacked by terrorists. Because we released the torture report. I mean, what, you don't think the terrorists, if you want to call them that, knew that we were torturing people before? This is just part of the ongoing reminders they want to do to us, people. We've been hearing about torture for a decade now, almost. And the torture report is just the latest chapter in what we've been being presented. So yeah, I just wanted to shed a little more light on this, show you why we're getting the torture report right now. This is very much just like the months before 9/11, where they were introducing the nation to Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden. If you could go back in time and watch CNN from June 2001 up to September 11th, you would find much reporting like that. Now in hindsight, we know what they're up to, right, True Seeker? All right, until next time.